Hello everyone, welcome to a Make It Monday. I'm Lisa Fulford, your creative coach, and I realize that Monday has came and gone. I had my in-person class on Monday and then I had company afterwards, so time just got away from me. So this is my first video for on Tuesday to make up for my Make It Monday, and then I'm hoping that when this video is finished, I can then shoot another video for my Technique Tuesday, and so I move along with all my videos that I have to do. But for my Make It Mondays, especially on the days that I have in-person classes, then I usually wait till after the class to video the cards that we did. So I have a couple of cards that we did in class, plus then we always partake in a swap. Not everybody, but the swap that I did for Monday, I'm also going to show how to make that card. And so we will get started with our Make It Monday. So give me a moment to change the camera and we will be started shortly. There we go. These are the cards. This is the card that I did for my swap, and it's a, I think people are calling it like a double decker fun fold or something like that. I just don't know what I want to call it, but I've seen, a few people have them online, and so you open it up and you get to see more of your DSP or your vellum and different things. And so it kind of pops open and you can work with it so that it kind of stays together or what have you. And then on the inside you can sign right here, and it kind of hides everything. So there's that one, and that's the one I did for my swap. These are the two cards that I did for the class, and this one is the this is that Christmas paper. I can't remember the name of it. Let me see if I've got that real close. Something festive. The Seasons of Greeting is what this one is, and this one here is the Mediterranean Blooms. And then this one's made with the Perennial Lavender. I've got little notes over here. And so I will tell the dimensions and what colors and different things as we're making the cards. But with these three cards, it's a free class. Spend $40 with me in my online store, and I will have a host code in the description below. If you spend $40 in my online store with the host code, you will get a kit for these cards to make at your leisure, and you can follow along with the video, but you'll receive a kit for each one of these. So that would be the DSP, the cardstock, all that cut out for you. There won't be any stamping that you'll have to do because we're not allowed to do stamping for people. But each of the pieces that has stamping on it, you will receive that as well. And so, but yeah, if you like these cards, spend $40 with me and you get this card class for free. So we will get started with our first card. So we'll do this one first. All right, so let me grab my bits and pieces here. All right, so this one here is kind of a fun one, but it's not hard at all. It looks hard, but it's not. And so this piece here is 8.5 by 5.5, and it has been scored at 2 1/8 and at 4 1/4. And so I'm going to leave that kind of like that. And then we have a piece of DSP. And this piece of DSP is 4 by 5 1/4. And so we're going to go ahead and add that to our card. All right. So I'll just tell you the pieces as we're going instead of telling all the dimensions and then stopping and starting and different things. So I'm going to add that. So this is the mountain. I want that to the inside. And then this one's a valley. It's going to go the other way. So I'm on this right hand side, that's the largest piece. There's a score line, there's one. We're going to add this piece of DSP, and we're going to try to center it the best that we can. Quite like that. There's a little something here that I don't like that the way it ended up, and I think it maybe was a fuzz or something. Try there, tuck it under. Not leave that out just in case I need it again. So there's that. And then we have another piece of DSP that is 1 7/8 by that 5 1/4 again. And I do think that this paper is directional. It may not be, but to me it looks directional. And so this is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. So it's the same height, just a different width dimension. Okay, whoops, just got glue in my hand. So then we're going to put that on that very first panel. I'm going to, let's see, try to center that, press that down. Got glue on my fingers, so it's going to stick to everything. All right, so got that. All right, so then now, I've got something I gotta grab right here real quick. And I wish I had grabbed my cell phone mat, but I forgot to grab that too. I don't think I know where it's at. That's why I didn't grab it. I've got a piece of paper here. And we'll do that here in just a moment. So let's set this over here to the side, kind of off camera a little bit. All right, so we're going to take this piece, and there is, this one here is 3 1/2, and it is 4 1/4. Okay, and then it's scored at 1/2 inch. And with that, we are going to add this DSP to that. So, and it's directional to me as well. And so let's add that. Right here. I've got glue at the edge, so I don't want that on there. We're going to center that on this largest section, this piece here. Okay. Like that. And then we're going to fold on that score line. So we put the mountain in the middle, folded it back, and then this is the valley out here, and it just makes it fold nicer. Then we're going to add that to our card front. So take this, now that I've folded it, I can see the score line better. You can see that. And then we're going to add glue just along that 1/2 inch section, like that. And we're going to fold this over on itself. And then we're going to place this inside like that, and then fold it down on there. So we put it in the edge of it right into the seam, or into that fold line, the score line, and we had glue on that little flap, and we laid it down flat, and then we pressed down. Let me see, got one right here again. So this one folded like that. This is where we put the glue, and we had our card stuck. I have another one here to make making my Christmas cards ahead of time. So when I make these, they become my Christmas cards. So I just put that on there like that. We put glue on this. We folded it back, and then we put glue, sat it in here, and so the glue side was up, and we pressed it down. So that's how we did that one. So that's how we've got this piece in there. And then I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm going to burnish that well, like that. And I want to make certain it stayed put, and it did. And then I'm going to burnish this one well. I didn't want to burnish it too much before because I want to get that cardstock in there ahead of time. Pull this one back, burnish this one well, open it up. I just want to make certain that I get them good and burnished so that the fold lines do well. Okay, so there's that. And then this piece, I'm going to go ahead and put it inside. That way I get some of my bits and pieces off my desk. Those up there. And the best way that I found to do this is I'm going to line this up where, like, here's that score line, and I don't want this to show when the card is shut. They have to open it. So I'm going to center it. I'm not going to glue it to this. It's going to be glued to that, but I'm going to center it on this piece. So I have equal here, there, and at the bottom. And over here at the score line, it's the same way, except for I just now moved it. But it looks like it's a lot more, but it's because there's a score line there. Okay. Let's see if I can get that lined up again. Then I'm going to add glue to this, very vanilla, and this piece is, I forgot to tell you that, 2 3/4 by 4. So I'm just going to add some glue here. Then I'm going to take this and fold over on top of it so that it will adhere to the inside. So I'm going to hold that. So I lined it up on here, put glue on the back, and then folded this over. And then there, that is how, it's not exactly centered because this is a little off centered, but I don't want it to show whenever the card is closed like that. So there we go. That's that. So if you centered it on here, it'd probably stick out a little bit too much. So I did that. So if you don't like that, you can put it clear up to this edge and get it centered more, but I was trying to hide it. And then the next piece, that's where this is going to come in handy. So put this off to the side and this over here. I'm going to use a piece of paper. Things I can't. I know I packed up my silicone mat and I did not grab it yet again. First time it was going to a team meeting. Second time it was taking something to class. I had them in that bag. So I'm just going to add some glue to this. You'd normally do this to a silicone mat, but this is how I'm going to do it for right now. All right, so I'm going to add glue to the back of my vellum. And usually you can see glue through the vellum, but I've got a finger dauber here, and this one here I have used for several years now, and it gets tacky, yes. Try not to let my vellum move too much, because if it does and it gets on the front, then you've got to make certain you move it so you don't get more. And I have to use more glue by not having it on the silicone mat, but for a card or two that won't be bad. And so I'm just adding this different places because your vellum will start curling and you want to be certain and get it on most every spot. And so right here. And if you do it this way, you cannot see the glue through the vellum. So I'll move this out of the way, and I've got to clean up a couple spots of glue that I got on my thing here. And I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to turn this sideways just because it's better to line up on a longer thing than it is on a shorter. Line that up there. Bring it over to here. I'll take my bone folder, make certain like that. Clean these spots up. This is a silicone mat too, but I did not want to put a big glob of glue on there. And this piece, I'm gonna, if you're in a pinch, you can use paper, and I'll move that out of the way and throw it in the trash. I'm gonna make certain that I get that on my card. See, it doesn't curl, and you cannot see the glue through it. Once it all dries, it will be clear. So that's one way to put vellum on and not have the glue showing. So I'm going to get this glue rubbed off my fingertips so I'm not making a mess. Finished with that. And then we are going to add this to the front. And so there's going to be a little border all the way around. And so not quite half. So I'm going to do right about half because the way I had it lined up. So I put it on here and decide where I think I'm going to want it, like that. So I look and I can tell it's not quite half. And you can lift it up and put a little like mark on it like that. So, or if you want, so here, you're going to put it on this way, you can flip it over this way. So don't twist it, just flip, line it up that way, and then you can see the lines where you can put glue to. So I can draw me a little line like that, and then add my glue. I want to bring that away from that edge. So just add some glue. I'm not getting real close to the edges because I don't want it to squeeze out. And then you'll bring this back in, line that back up. And hold that for a moment. Wherever I put that box. While I'm holding that, I'm going to put my glue dauber, or my finger dauber away. It's got the glue on it because this is kind of an airtight. It could be a little bit smaller, but I've also got these other round things in there. So I just put it in a case, and that's where it's been for at least a couple years. And it does very good in that situation. So far, this is our card. I did that. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of embellishing. And I have, let's see, my Mossy Meadow ink, because I did not go ahead and stamp this one. And so I need to stamp this one, and it's to you and yours right here. Mossy Meadow ink. Oh, these measurements, I did not give you those measurements, did I? So I gave you this one, and this DSP was 2 3/4 by 4. This piece of the Very Vanilla was 2 7/8 by 4 1/8, and then the vellum was 2 3/4 by 4. So I hope that I forgot to give those. This is from the Greetings of the Season dies. So I've got this to you and yours. And I'm going to kind of stamp it off to the right just a bit. There's a reason for that. That looks pretty good. And that's going to go on the inside, like this one here. Put that there like that. So it's going to go on the inside here, and I'm going to glue it down. And I'm going to decide whether I want this one in here or if I want this one in here. I think I'll change them because this one here I had there. This one I had in here, but I think I'm going to change this just a bit. I think I'll put this one in here like that. I'm just trying to cover up that little hole because this is a tag. So that works for me. And these are stitched labels or tags, and they're so cute. Not go clear to the edge, but fairly close. Let's see if I can get that straight. Hope that's straight. It's hard to see because it's so far in front of me, but that's okay. And I think I just glued this one straight down. I'm pretty certain I did. All right. And I'm going to bring that in here like that. Cover up that little hole and then kind of have it work around the words. So there's that. Now let's work on this front piece. So I have this that's out of that same set of the Greetings of the Season dies, and this one is in pecan pie. I always want to call it something else. I don't know why. And then I'm going to place that there, and then I want to figure out how I want to place this. And then I'm going to put my tag at the top. And so I think maybe like that. So we'll put this down. This is just glued straight down. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. That's the best compliment you can give me. I'm hoping you're enjoying this card. It is fun. Put that there. And then let's bring in that label. And I did this one ahead of time, and I cannot remember which set this came out of because it was sitting on, it was on my, and there's not a number on the back, and I can't remember what one it goes to, but it was on my magnet sheet over there, and it was the perfect size for this greeting, and so I cannot remember when it goes to. So if you happen to know what die set this one goes to, please let me know so I can put it away. I'm going to add that there. I put this one a little bit lower because I try to make them a little bit different. That way they're, you know, not everybody's getting the exact same card. I think it maybe looks off because that crinkled there. And then that's our first card. So this is the one that I did for my swap. And this is the one we just did. And they'll set up and you can display them. And so that is our card number 1. And that one there took the most time. The other ones go together pretty quick. All right, so we will do this card next. This is the birthday wishes. That's my notes. All right, so I kind of bent my card piece, but that's going to be fine. That can be my back of my card or what have you, but normally I wouldn't use it, but I'm going to go ahead and use it today. I'll figure out a way to maybe make that look okay or put some glue on it or something, but for right now we're going to use it. That's going to just be the back. So I'm going to take and fold my card. This is gorgeous gray. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So I'm going to do that. And then this is a piece of basic beige, and I did put it through the embossing folder, the exposed brick, and it is 4 inches by 5 1/4. Take that glue, and with this, because it is one of those 3D embossing, you want to make certain, you know, if you do Stampin' Seal, I would try to do the plus. You could do tear tape, you could do the glue like I'm doing, but it needs quite a bit of an adhesive. Excuse me, that's a mouthful for me. And just because there's not as much surface touching the card base because it is embossed. Okay, so there's that. And then this piece goes on the inside, so we'll go ahead and get that out of the way. And this one is 3 1/2 by 5. I cut my inside card pieces that way because I get 5 out of a 8 1/2 by 11, and I don't always have a lot to say, depending on who it is. And so if there's not as much real estate in the inside of the card, now if you write a lot of stuff, make it the 4 by 5 1/4 if you want, but the 3 1/2 by 5 works great for me, and I can get 5 of them. So there's that. So we're working on moving that along, and like I said, this goes together pretty quick. So this piece is Gorgeous Grape. It's 2 1/2 by 4, and then this piece is from the Perennial Lavender, and it is 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. Oops. I always try to do the corners first. I'm trying not to put as much glue on it. My bottle was not cooperating. So, camera here. Trying to be more mindful of that. Oops. Slip and slide. I like that it has wiggle room, but sometimes it wiggles when I don't want it to. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to grab my dimensionals. Put 5 on the back, but I'm not going to take the backings off just yet. Whoop. There we go. Set that off to the side, and we'll put this one together. This is a piece of Gorgeous Grape that is 1 3/8 by 2 5/8, and this is a piece of that Perennial Lavender, and it is 1 sorry. Let's see. This one was 2 by 3 1/4. I am so sorry. That's 2 by 3 1/4. And then this one's 1 3/4 by 3. I was giving you the measurement of that one. I'm sorry, first time. Try to put them in the order that I'm putting them on the card. Try to think ahead, and I jumped a line, and that's why I was having trouble deciding what the size of this one was. Center this. Make certain you have an even border. Hold that. All right, so with this one, when we overlap it, however far we want, the only place we want to put dimensionals is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and flip that over. So I lined it up where I thought I was going to put it. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but then flip it over and then only put dimensionals along the side. And I put 3. I explained it in class, but it was confusing for them somewhat. So I thought if I did a visual, it'd be easier. So that's why I didn't go ahead and stick this one down. That way I could show. So then you flip it back over. This is the directional. That's why I put it on, the way I did. And I'm going to take these backings off. this in, I'm going to just leave a small border on this side and a little bit smaller border at the top than what I'm putting at the bottom. Kind of over here to the side, like so. Now this one, I need to add glue here because it's going to overlap. Not a lot, just a little bit. And then we'll take those backings off. A little bit of glue. So the dimensionals go on the right and the glue is on the left. So we're going to flip it that way. We're going to leave a bit of a border over there. A little bit more on this side than what I did on the other side. Not a lot more, just a little. Press that, put it in place. Okay. We're finished so far with that. And then I'll tell on myself here. I was trying to do some stamping ahead of time, and so that it would go quicker in class, different things. And I knew I had these pieces, like the different ones, and I stamping them. I'm gonna grab my birthday wishes here, and then I went ahead and layered them. And I was getting ready to do my second one I did one for this, and I was doing a second one for my class, and I could not find it. Looked and looked, and I'm like, I know I had that. I had stuck it one on the front and one on the back of the same piece. And so things happen when you're crafting. It's like you just roll with it. And so I just stuck it on my card that way, and then did another, cut out another piece and stamped my birthday wishes on that one. So I usually leave my goof ups in my videos and things, and a lot of times if I do them live, you're just out of luck. You can't edit it out, but I usually try not to. People need to know that, mistakes happen, and it's a homemade card, and they know it's homemade. They don't expect it to be perfect. When it comes from the heart, they are happy. So here we go. Let that go for a moment, and then I'm going to add my dimensional to the back of this as well. I think I'm going to go ahead and do 3. I like dimensionals. They're fairly cheap to use. Bring this back down, close my ink. Stick my finger in that. Side, bring this out. And kind of center it. There we go. And like that. So that is our second card. And remember, you can get this class for free if you spend $40 in my online store, and I will put the host code in the description below. So let's do our next card. So the next one is that Mediterranean DSP, and I really like that. Get my pieces out. And I need to grab the hello out of here. I could have just grabbed it when I grabbed the other. And this is the set, Simply Said. They used it for the World Card Making Day. And so I'm trying to use it more. I'm going to go ahead and put on this one. This is kind of a big block for this, but that's all right. We'll make it work. And then I have the ink that we used was Gorgeous Grape on the last one, and we're using Daffodil Delight for this card. So that last card was Gorgeous Grape. Forgot to tell that. I'm going to do my stamping first so that it doesn't smear, and then I'll tell the dimensions of all this. Looks pretty good. I'm going to set that off to the side. Grab my chamois, that way I can get the inks and everything out of the way. Alright, so that's done. Close this ink. started putting this together. All right, so this piece is Night of Navy, and it is 11 inches by 4¼ and it's scored at 5½. So I'm going to take my bone folder and burnish that. This piece is for the inside, and it is 3½ by 5, and we're going to go ahead and put that on the inside. I'm just going to put a line of glue. If you go to the card aisle at the store and look at a few of the greeting cards, a lot of times the inside panel is not glued down all the way, so I sometimes just glue the top. Like that. And then I have this little piece of scrap, and it's about 1/2 inch by 3½. And so how I put that on my card inside, I just draw a line, a thin line of glue, not clear to the edges. And then I bring this in and I lay it on there. It's easier to put the glue on the white panel and then lay this down than it is to try to get glue on a 1/2 inch little strip. So that's just a little tip and trick that I do. So there's that. So that's the inside. So now we can work on the outside. This piece of DSP is 4 by 5¼ and we're going to use this side. And this is a pretty side also, but it's not what works for my design here. Oops. Spread that out a bit. This is almost empty. Keep laying it down, and it's hard to, oops, it's hard to get it to come out, and then when it does, it comes out in a big glob. So we're going to center that on here. This is pretty paper. I don't think I bought the stamp set, but I bought the paper. I may have to go ahead and buy the stamp set because I really like it. That might be a little crooked, but that's all right. It looks good to me. Like I said, it's not perfection that we're looking for. It's putting heart into it. So now then, this is a piece of Night of Navy. Get my little note over here. And it is, let's see, 1 3/8 by, 3 1/8 by 3 7/8, and then the DSP is 3 inches by 3 1/4, and we're going to layer that like that. Spread that out a little bit. Let's layer that right there. This has a really small border. This is only an 1/8 inch difference, so it gives it a 1/16 inch border. This is a 1/4 inch difference, so you get an 1/8 inch border. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add some dimensionals to this. In the bottom, well, it can go either way because it's not directional, but in the bottom corners, the top corners, one in the center, and there's a reason why we put it so close to the edge. And we're going to take this. This is the Night of Navy cardstock. I'm tongue-tied tonight. 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then this is DSP. That's 2 5/8 by 2 5/8. We're gonna layer that. I'm gonna start in the middle here, so I don't keep putting too much of globs of glue. This is a real pretty side also, but I wanted the side for the Mediterranean lemons there. Pretty sure that's lemons. I could be wrong. Just let me know. Okay, so we're going to flip this over and put our dimensionals on the back of it as well. Almost finished. backings off of this one, not the large one yet. All right, now we're going to put this kind of equal the sides and the top around this. Kind of like that. And this is, I think it's around 23 inches of twine. You don't have to cut that much, but I'm going to leave off here to the end about 1.5 inches hanging off. And it's on the left, and I'm right-handed, so this is why I'm doing it this way. And I'm going to hold it with my left hand, and I'm going to wrap it around once, twice, oops, 3 times, and then bring it around, and we're going to tie a knot. I didn't want to mess with a bow, so I decided just to tie a knot right here, because there's a lot going on with this card. If you want to tie a bow, go right ahead. But I know a lot of people's fingers and stuff don't work as well, and some people have a hard time tying bows. So tie a knot. It's your project. You can do it however you want. And then I'm going to scoot that where it's kind of straight. And I'll cut those off here in a moment. Take the backings off. And let's see. And that about there. Press. Bring in my scissors. I'm going to take the 2 ends together, and I'm going to trim them at the same length. They're going in different directions, and we're almost finished. So we're going to take, this is a piece of the Night of Navy, and it is, let's see, I don't think that's 7/8. Or no, let's see. I'm trying to decide what the size of this is. They wrote 7/8 by 1 1/8, and I know that is wrong. Let's check myself here. Okay, so that's 1 1/8. I knew something was off. So 1 1/8 by 1 5/8. So 1 5/8 by 1 1/8. I do not know why I wrote what I did. And then this one is the 7/8 by 1 1/2. So I don't know why I put what I did. Must have thought one thing and wrote another. It happens. To check that. So 7/8 by 1 1/2 is the basic white. And this one here, I'll double check it, is 1 1/8 by 1 5/8. Okay, so now then there's a little trick for putting this on, and we're almost done. So I'm going to take this, and I'll pick up one of these mini dimensionals, and I'm going to put it up against this line right here, this edge. Put it right there. Pick up another one, put it right beside there. Take those backings off. Okay. Then we'll pick up another one. I'll set it right on top of that first one. Pick up a second one and put it on top of that second one. So we're making them 2 stacks high. Like that. And then we're going to add glue to the edge where the H starts. Okay. And we're going to bring this over. Not quite clear to the edge of that DSP, but close. press it down on, make it parallel here, press it down, and then press the glue part down. And that is our third card for our Make It Monday. So that's the inside. Here is the outside. So I will grab all the other cards. Oops. And then I'll grab this, the one that we did second. I think I'll just put out the ones we just made. That way they're not all piled up. Then this one here. So these are the 3 cards that I brought to you this evening. This is the one that I did as a swap. This was my in-person class, and you can get this as a free class if you spend $40 in my online store, and I will give you the host code in the description below the video. So I want to thank you for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. If you know what that die is, I'd appreciate you letting me know, because I have a hard time finding where it goes. I'll search the catalogs again and see if I can't figure it out, but sometimes I have no clue, but I'm pretty certain it's current. So thank you for joining me, and happy stamping.